Well, Darren, another big game on Friday, particularly because you look at the league table and it's pretty tight between you and Walsall.
Very tight. I think there's only 2 points in it, so it's a big game. But after a very good win at Leyton Orient, we're going into it with good confidence and belief. And the key thing is the consistency in both performances, but mainly in results. If we can get a little run going and try and open up a little bit of a gap. Obviously, Friday's a good opportunity to do that. It would mean you were 5 points ahead of them with a game in hand. So I think it's a big game in that sense.
I bet it's been a great place to be, London Road, this week. I know you're quick to say that it's only sort of one step towards where you want to be, but that kind of result will pick the atmosphere up, no doubt. Yeah,
I think the manner of it as well, to go 1-0 down and after watching it back, our reaction was outstanding, I have to say. We felt we deserved the win, but the manner of it was, I think, the real pleasing thing for the players.
Walsall, very good side. They showed that, didn't they, back in November?
Yeah, we're now getting the reverse fixtures. Obviously, the sort of Leyton Orient, they, I have to say, thoroughly deserved to beat us when they played us here, and same when we went to Walsall. It's probably, I would have to say, for collectively and for the whole game, was probably our worst performance of the season. We got absolute thumped. It could have been a lot more than 2-0. So we are hoping, our aim is to reverse the results and take it from there, really.
Plenty of attacking options they've got. I mean, the likes of Soyes, Lakovic and Brandy as well. I think he got a hat-trick in their last away game. So good movement up there and good quality as well. Yeah,
good footballing team, good tempo to their game. The players you've mentioned there, they've got the good footballers, and they haven't changed the way they've played all season. They've got a philosophy very similar to ourselves. I say it'll be a good football game, but with the pitch, you never know. But we'll have to match their tempo. We'll have to match certain players going in certain areas of the pitch. We'll do a bit of work on that today and tomorrow. But like I say at the start of the interview, we're going to it with confidence, but we know it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, you enjoyed playing on the surface at Brisbane Road, didn't you? Actually having some grass to play on. How is the surface here looking?
It's awful. It really is. The game will probably go ahead. We've got to get through this one in terms of for the pitch, because we've then got 3 weeks without a home game, and you like to think the weather gets better and we get equipment on it that will make it better, because at the moment we just can't get on it because it's so wet. Once it dries out, wait a couple of days, it's made a little bit of a difference, but it's going to be a bog and it's going to be really heavy, so obviously common sense will come into it.
Yeah, one of those where you just try and win ugly, really.
Yeah, win the game. We'll play in the right areas and play with common sense, hopefully, and get the win, and then it's another win for us, hopefully, and then you've got 3 weeks to get a bit of work into it.
What about striking sort of a psychological blow to those teams around you? Because that result at the weekend certainly sent a message. I think people stood up and took notice. Orient slipped up last night. Walsall, obviously, if you could beat them, it would just show people that you're beating those teams in and around the playoff positions, which is obviously key.
I think, in that sense, psychologically, I think it'll be the ones that will get the most benefit are us. I think it just picks us up again, and there's still a lot of points to play for, and there's still a lot of games to go, and I've maintained that we need to be in the top 6 when it matters, and obviously the results at the moment, we've won 3 out of 4, and really it should be 4 out of 4 after that freak thing at Oldham, but we've just got to get the consistency. We've got to try and be as consistent as we were at the early part of the season. If we are, then we've got a good chance.
Plenty of options now, haven't you, in the squad? I think young Baldwin comes into contention for Friday night. You've been impressed with what you've seen from him since he joined?
Yes, I think he's still bedding in a little bit, but no, he's a good player. He's going to be a good one for us, and very, very good on the ball, and he's still got a lot to work with in terms of improving his game defensively, but that's the same for everyone else. But no, we've been impressed by him.
Yeah, and Ben Nugent as well. I think you're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's on that one. But I mean, we've seen him play here for Brentford, haven't we, this season? He's a towering presence.
Yeah, he gives us size. He'll get that ball out the box. I think it's what we need. He's left-sided as well. There's a benefit there. Yeah, he scored against us actually for Brentford. He played 16 games for Cardiff they won the league last season in the Championship. He's only young, but he's quite an experienced young one, if you know what I mean. But no, he'll do fine for us. He's 6'4", like I said, left-sided. He'll head it. That's what he wants to defend. So I think it's something we needed.
Yeah, so whereas Baldwin you've described as a kind of ball-playing centre-back, he's more of an out-and-out defender.
Yeah, he can handle the ball, but he's one of those that you watch him and you think he wants to defend, you know, and that's something I think we've needed.
And I know you're still looking to try and bring attacking options or midfielders in. Any news on that, Darren? Are you still searching?
Still searching. There's one or two that perhaps we are still going to try and get in. I just need to make sure that we've got a big enough squad numbers wise, and if we do, we will have. But also the quality that I really want competition. I really need, even the players in the team at the moment, they need that competition towards the end of the season. Sometimes it can be a good thing for them, you know, and when players come in, it means that they've got to step up, and that's what I want.
Would you be hoping to do something before Friday?
Possibly, I don't know. You know, we're trying, but whether it's going to be done or not, we'll have to wait and see.
You talked about competition, and Connor Washington threw his hat into the mix, didn't he? On Saturday, came on and really stretched Leighton Orient, and that was probably a key change, wasn't it, at that time?
Yeah, I think he's probably surprised quite a few people. He's made an impact straight away. He stretched them, and that's what I wanted. We've got the flexibility to do that, especially in games where, you know, both when you're losing and winning. I think when you're winning and teams are chasing it against you, you'd be a good impact player. That's not saying you could start games, but I think his role at the moment would be as an impact, and he realises that. But I thought he was excellent when he came on.
Yeah, and you had kind of Britt up top, didn't you, with Nicky playing a sort of withdrawn role towards the left and Connor coming on the right. Is that something you could play from the starting games with kind of all three of them starting? Because obviously they've all got quality and all bring different qualities as well.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Nicky's intelligent enough to play there. In fact, he's played there quite a bit for Swindon. He'll come in off the line, he picks up good areas. You would maybe have to change a little bit how you play your wide players in, because really you've got two right up, you know, whereas on Saturday we had Nicky dropping in. You've got to be aware of that defensively, really, but you would just alter it a little bit in midfield. But no, there's definitely the possibility of doing that. I think the pace them two have got would definitely stretch teams and give you room in midfield.
Danny Swanson is probably putting in his most consistent run in a posh shirt. It was very good again at Brisbane Road. Do you think he's going to now kick on without Lee Tomlin around? He knows he's perhaps going to play a few more games. Do you think it's really his chance to show what he's all about?
I think Danny's been excellent. I think he's actually played a lot of games throughout the season. I think you're right. I think he's got I think everyone can see he's got the confidence and belief now, and I think the boys have admitted himself that that's key for him. But I think he's both on and off the pitch. He's been outstanding. He really has. He's been very, very good, and he deserves his place at the moment. Yeah,
and he showed he could do sort of both things on Saturday: play out wide, but also pick those little pockets of space in behind the front two.
Yeah, he does that well. You know, we do a lot of work on players taking positions off others. You know, and especially when you play a striker just off the front, it's important. Then as a wide man, they've got to realise where they are and take the position off them. And Danny does both. He stays wide, but he also drifts into areas that makes it difficult for fullbacks to pick him up. And the midfield was solid, wasn't it, with Bostwick in there on Saturday? I guess you see no reason to change that really for Friday night. No, I think Bozzy did excellent. I think he had a swing in his step. I think it helped him going into that position. I think it was key to the victory on Saturday. And we know he can play in there. There's just one or two things that have maybe stopped him going in there a bit earlier. But no, you're right. I think really after his performance on Saturday, you'd definitely be looking at starting him in there again on Friday. And how are you looking in terms of injuries? I think Grant McCann is still a few days away, is he? Grant won't be available for Friday and probably doubtful for Monday. We always felt that it was going to be 10 days or so. Everyone else is fine, fit. Yeah, games coming up in quick succession, of course, haven't you, with the JPT coming up on Monday, so fingers crossed the heavy pitch doesn't take too big a toll on those legs. Well, we're thankful that the game's been put back. Obviously we're thankful to Walsall for agreeing it and also Colchester for agreeing it with Swindon, so I think, yeah, if we'd had to play there on Saturday, I probably would have had to have looked at freshening things up, there's no question about that, but there's one or two obviously that may start Friday, can't play Monday anyway, so I'll have to do that anyway, I suppose. But no, we're glad it's a Friday to Monday. You know, I'm only looking at Friday, and then it's just a normal, really, it's like a Saturday, Tuesday, so there'll be no excuses.